Basically, I'm wondering what to do with this definition of awakening as an energetic shift as you teach. I know it is being pointed to the present, the I am, and I have had many glimpses of this, so to speak. I inquire into my experience, but if I'm honest, a lot of the time I do feel like a separate self in this body. It's loosening, but it's still there. For a while this bothered me, but now I just given up on seeking this energetic shift in a way. I think something like, if I feel separate, what to do, that's what is. The person can't really do anything about it. And this giving up helps me feel more peaceful and less seeking, striving. Could you speak about this? I guess a part of me is wondering if I should try harder to inquire. Thank you. Hope this isn't too wordy for the stream. Much love to you. No, it's perfect, Katie, and I really hear what you say. Yeah, and this is the problem with non-duality, and this is why I would love more research done into it, because it's so random as to who has that shift and who doesn't. The other thing that I would like to say about the shift is, for some people it's something that happens really gradually, so you don't really notice it. And there's some people like myself where it happens quite dramatically, so it's more of a difference. So some people it's like a fading out of that attachment to self, and some people it's like a big, oh my God, and a few other select words. So then in teaching it, it's confusing because I can't disclaim my experience, and it is an energetic shift, but it's not necessarily noticeable. So for somebody that I've been speaking to for quite a few years, it happened slowly, and then suddenly they weren't suffering anymore, and then they were like, hang on. They didn't even really recognize what happened, but they just were happy. There was just this absence of suffering. And they'd had many awakenings over many, many years of studying this. So there's that. And then there's the next part of, like, conceptually what it does listening to speakers like myself and other speakers. And this is the negative side of it. In a way, ultimately, you could say there's no negative and positive. But if we use that language, the negative side about listening to non-duality teachers, especially those that teach about the energetic shift, it sets up this idea of somebody that has this freedom, and then if you follow it, you will get to this energetic shift. And this is a very painful dilemma to get into, because there is a you that unconsciously believes that you're only worthy if you get to this. And then you invest energy into it, believing that you're going to get to it. Yeah, and that's really painful. That's like, it's the same as believing that money will get you the happiness. But at least with money, you can tangibly get it. Whereas this subject, it's not tangible. It's not like that. It's not like you can get coins in your bank and then say, I'm done now. It's like something that happens or not, and it's not definable, and it's not conceptual, and it's not something that you can hold on to and get a certificate and be like, here. Although I do have a friend who was offered a certificate by the Zen monastery for being enlightened. Yeah. So yeah, it's the problem. I mean, I think about these things and I contemplate it, and I feel sad that part of the way I speak, and it's not just singular to me, but it's to the non-duality community, can lead to this what's that word? This dichotomy of the self, this idea of something they want to arrive at and something that's really invested at, but then also this knowing that it can't get to it. So then the best thing to do, like you say, is to begin to give that up. When I was with Roger, because of the way he spoke, I really gave up on the idea of enlightenment, and it was just being about being happy in every moment, which is about being present, not not having pain or pleasure, but just being present to what's happening. Like being in flow, I suppose, or not being in doership like he would speak about. And that was deeply relaxing to me because it was very tangible. And so that's nice that you found relaxation in that concept. So that's great. And I hope that I can expose some of this. And then the other thing that I would say is to work on balancing the personal self. I think that we've spoken before, Katie, and you've worked a lot on balancing the personal self. And what I mean by that is getting a really good conceptualization of your character, you know, of the past, of what happened in childhood, of your attachment wants and needs, of, you know, where you disassociate, traumas, like a really good conceptualization. And then once you've got that, like trying to work on what it is that you want for your life beyond like your suffering patterns. You know, so often we go into situations that recreate our childhood situation because it makes us feel safe, and that's not really what we want. That's just an example of it. And to do that, you have to really work, I think, one-to-one with a person where they can really point things out to you. And I think this will make you happier. It will stop you going into more dead-end situations, being self-destructive. As long as you work with somebody that's good. So somebody that has a good sense of like psychology, and then somebody also that has maybe, if you're lucky enough, a good sense of non-duality and can hold both of those. I don't really do so many one-to-one sessions anymore, but I'd recommend people on my website. Yeah. And then also the other thing that I would recommend is don't get stuck in this cult mentality of non-duality. You know, explore for yourself, work things out for yourself. Don't rehash what I say or what others say. You know, find that truth in this being, because everybody has their own truth as a human and as that which is beyond the humanness. And don't get stuck with cult-like teachers. Use them maybe as a springboard to undo things in you, but don't get stuck in like this cult-like, cultic relationship. I see it so often. I got stuck in these relationships with teachers, you know, by my shame, by my guilt, by my belief that other people are better. So it's like, okay, use these teachers to go beyond yourself, but don't get stuck in this they are the savior, everything they say is true. Find it out for yourself. And then question, what is the self? Boo! Yeah, thanks,